Okay, welcome everybody to the RNCC meeting, the Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Council. It is March 9th, 7:06. Before we begin, Rock, could you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Before we get to the President's report, I wanted to thank Shields Reed, in particular Marina Brown, the President, and Annie King Meredith for all the delicious food. Thank you, ladies. So moving on, we're going to start out with the President's reports. Garland, would you like to start?
Hello, my name is Garland Ellis, President of the Richmond Annex Neighborhood Council, and also Director at Large on the RNCC. We had our first meeting of the year this last week, actually the week before, and starting to get things kind of lined up for the following year. Different meetings and different events.
Rock?
Rock Brown, Sergeant at Arms, RNCC, Treasurer of the East Richmond Neighborhood Council. No report on the neighborhood, unless, of course, if the President is out there and decides to get a report. Jim, thank you.
Good evening, Margarita Mitas, President of Marina Bay Neighborhood Council. We are kicking off our quarterly meeting in March 11th, which is this week. 6 to 8, we will be hosting a mayoral candidates forum. So everyone's welcome to join. And yeah, and that's what we're going to be doing Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Ardo Rentila. I'm the chair of the RNCC, the Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Council. I wanted to say that Richmond is 52 square miles. We have approximately 33 neighborhood councils, and about a little over half are active. We're working on trying to activate the rest of them. So that being said, I am the president of the Fairmead Hilltop Neighborhood Council as well, and we will be looking forward to having our lovely Stephanie Nye at our next neighborhood council meeting, which will be a week from this Thursday up at the Hilltop Community Church. We also plan on having a candidates forum in April. We're not sure of the date just yet, but it's usually well attended. And if you want to learn about your candidates, please come up to Hilltop Community Church. I will be putting more out on social media. I'm also one of the directors on West County Wastewater, and I wanted to let all our ratepayers know that we are looking at a study to increase our rates, unfortunately, because our infrastructure is about 100 years old, and a lot of it needs to be replaced, and we unfortunately are going to have to look at raising our rates to do so. So thank you. John? Jan?
Hi, I'm Jan Mignoni. I'm the president of the North and East Neighborhood Council, and I'm the vice president of the RNCC. We had our second meeting on the end of February. I'm a month off because our meetings are the end of the month, so I keep thinking it's the next month. We will be at the Artist Fair on March 22nd on San Pablo Avenue and Clinton. It's put on by the Factory Bar, El Tucan, and a few other neighbors there, and they invite a lot of local people to show their artist wear. So the neighborhood council will just be out there to show off. I don't have a speaker for our March meeting, but I have a speaker for my April meeting. The chief of police will be speaking at our April meeting, so that'll make it nice. And that's about it for now.
Good evening. I am Lori Hart. I am the secretary for the RNCC and the vice president for the Portchester Village Neighborhood Council. Well, January started and we've been off and running. We had the opportunity in conjunction with the city to host an MLK at Portchester, a day of service. It was a wonderful service. We have some brand new planting beds. It was well attended and everyone came out and helped beautify Portchester and learn a little bit more about the history of African Americans. In February, I got the opportunity to go to the college and watch the film, The Rebirth of a City, the Nathaniel Bates story. And so I'm encouraging the city that it was wonderful that and our own Don Gosney was in the video as well. And it's wonderful that, you know, over in El Portal, that Contra Costa College aired that, but I would like to see the city of Richmond pay homage to its own and have that maybe at the Civic Center, because Nat Bates is a two-time mayor and I think four-time council member, so I think it would be wonderful for the city of Richmond to show some love in that. And also in February, we had an infrastructure meeting in Portchester where, as a result of our flooding, the city hired a consultant, and so they came out. That was extremely well attended. They heard all of our needs, and so now they're working on actually looking into a lot of the infrastructure problems, and I'm looking forward to coming back to see what they're going to bring. Now what's happening in April? It's been busy. We've been working with the San Francisco Estuary Institute on the Dotson Marsh. So we're going to have a meeting in Portchester on the 24th of April. So there's a lot going on in Portchester, and some of the fruits of the labor for the years of us having issues are being addressed. So I personally want to thank my councilman, Cesar Cepeda, and the city for finally paying some attention, but I am still watching. And on the same note, I would like to see a fire department being built. I don't care which one. I think we've done way too much talking about getting a new fire department and it's not starting. So the residents want to see some movement. We don't care which one. We need about 5 or 6. But we really need to do something with getting a new fire department or renovating one of the fire departments. We need to see that, and we'd like to see some movement on that soon. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Bryce Sullivan, Director of Large for the RNCC and representative of Richmore Village and Metro Square. I just received word that there's an interest in having a neighborhood party on Saturday, April 11th. We're going to start looking into that and organizing it, and hopefully bringing more people from the community back together, because we are often not having meetings. And that's about it. I'll have more details of that in April. Garetha, would you care to introduce yourself online?
Yes, I'm Garetha Johnson, President of Parkchester Village Neighborhood Council and the PIO for the RNCC. No report.
Well, let's start with the audience. Are there any members from the neighborhood councils that would like to come up and introduce themselves? Uh, You you could fight for the mic, or if you can state your name and introduce your neighborhood.
John Bauman, Vice President of the Castro Heights Neighborhood Association. And our next meeting will be on April 21st. Unfortunately, I will miss that as I will be traveling in Europe that month. The big news that we have is that we have effectively completed the replacement of the sound wall along Castro Ranch Road. This is a project that was running late 10 years ago when we got distracted by a landslide. But it's great to know that the project has been effectively completed. The one remaining aspect is to install some retaining walls that the company has decided should be installed between the piers to support the wall going forward. Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oscar Garcia. I'm president of the Iron Triangle Neighborhood Council. Our next meeting is on Wednesday, March 18th in the Nevin Center. And just wanted to quickly announce the Taste of Richmond, which is hosted by Richmond Main Street. It's going to be here in the Memorial Auditorium, Saturday, March 28th, 4 to 7 p.m. Once again, Taste of Richmond, Saturday, March 28th, 4 to 7 p.m. at the Civic Memorial Auditorium, Richmond Memorial Auditorium. And in terms of participation, we've also been closely monitoring the hopefully re-implementation of the flock cameras. I know the chief is here to speak about that. I attended the last city council meeting around that. There are a lot of non-Richmond residents there who were opposed to the cameras. So I strongly suggest to disseminate this information. I know it's a priority for the neighborhood councils. A lot of crime has gone up since they've been shut down, and we're the only city in the nearby area without these cameras, so we're vulnerable right now. So please, as much as you can, have your members attend the upcoming city council meeting, or at least call in to show support. And I'll let the chief dive into the details. Thank you.
If you happen to be online and are, sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Suzanne Coffey, and I am the treasurer for the Santa Fe Neighborhood Council. We will be meeting this month on Thursday, March 26th. We meet at Bridge Storage from 6:30 to 8 p.m. This month, past February, we had a few things. We had a dumpster day, which was very successful. Our executive council met for some planning, and we also attended our coffee with our district rep, Cesar Cepeda, which was a great afternoon just talking about our issues in the neighborhood with him. And the other thing that we did was we were table sponsors, hosts at the Sisters in Solidarity International Women's Day celebration this Saturday at the Civic Center here, and this has been was our third year participating in that event, and it was wonderful, and we had a really great day. And that's it for Santa Fe.
There's quite a line.
I know, that's what
I'll let you know.
Good evening. My name is Chip Gribble. I'm with the Richmond Annex Neighborhood Council, a member, longtime resident of Richmond. I'm here to tell you that we had a very busy year last year with the Neighbor to Neighbor grant and all the activities. I want to read you a letter that we wrote to Garland, our president here. And I want to acknowledge the support that we got from the RNCC as well, and Stephanie and I, of course, also. This letter is addressed to Garland Ellis. Dear Garland, we want to sincerely thank you for your help with last year's Richmond Neighbor to Neighbor grant program and all the annex-related activities that were made possible because of your work. on behalf of the Richmond Annex Neighborhood Council, as well as your work with the Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Council. Number one, through your active role in the Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Council, you alerted us very early in the process, which gave us an early start in the planning process. Number two, through your familiarity and your established relationships with various city personnel, we were successful in hosting several Richmond Annex events. Number three, you provided crucial guidance and were directly involved in all the planning that went into the various Richmond Annex events. Number four, through these events, we have clearly and substantially increased our sense of community, involvement, and commitment. With the end-to-end grant program, our neighborhood held the following events: a National Night Out neighborhood potluck, a safety fair, a rank block party, a Huntington Park cleanup event, and a neighborhood emergency response training. We are also very grateful to the Richmond Annex Coordinating Council for their role in making this grant a reality for us, which brought us this marvelous opportunity. Your commitment to helping us get the most out of this program was truly inspiring. Most sincerely, Chip Gribble, on behalf of the Richmond Annex CERT leadership team. So,
Very good. Next.
Well, good evening, all. It's been a long time to see you all, your beautiful faces,
Except
and
for me,
to the
right?
chair, and to all the council members there. I'm Annie Keene Meredith, and I'm standing in for my president, Marina Brown. I am the vice president for Shields Reed Neighborhood Council. And I will come to you this evening with a few items that I would like to share with you. First of all, what we've been doing at Shields Reed is to look at renaming Shields Reed for Mr. Reed himself. It's a historical site. We've already in motion with Supervisor Joya and others to move into motion to have it to be renamed. The other is Saturday, we just did a ribbon cutting for the 42 units that was built on Fred Jackson. These units took 17 years to be built. Finally, we have it done. It's for single-family homes, and it's also for, we have spots there for the homeless, also a few that is actually put aside for the homeless. The 42 units are a combination of CHDC and Eden Housing. They are at 100% full, no vacancies at this point. Hooray! The other thing I would like to announce is and I talked to the chair a few moments ago. I don't know if we want to set it in for announcements, but this is pertaining to fraud that just came up today. And I wanted to share this information to you all to be aware of what is going on at a lot of fraudulent things that happen to personal checks. You are all familiar with the ink washing and all that. Well, it's stopping. It's not even going as far as ink washing. They actually, from experience, and I had this happen to me today. I was with Chase Bank. I found out that February the 2nd, I usually send my bills out at the beginning of the month. And just so happened, this is March, and a lot of my bills weren't paid. So I began to get a lot of late charges, $40, $58, things saying disconnected, and the whole bit. So with that, I called the bank to see what was going on. I called the different entities that I had actually sent the checks to, and they hadn't received them. So during the discussion, I'm backwards and forwards saying, I know you received them because they cleared through my account. Well, one particular one was PG&E. And PG&E had sent me a notice saying I had a 15-day notice. Now, looking from February until now, the 15 notice would be completed by March the 12th. At this point, we're disconnected. As I talked to them about that, we went backwards and forth, and they said, no, they hadn't received it. I couldn't get through to them. They was telling me I had to put in a case. It was going to take 3 days, and by that time, it'd be disconnected, or they could do an extension. We hung up. I hung up. I looked at my ledger. Chase Bank sends you a ledger telling each month, each check, and the amount of checks. I saw that this particular check had gone through, but all the same time, I didn't look at the amount. The amount was $1,300. And what they had done, they had taken the check, I had mailed it in Oakland, February the 2nd. February the 3rd, it was cashed in Novato. From that, they had written over my PG&E and wrote the full name on that blank. They even misspelled February because I had abbreviated February as FEB. That was noticeable. From that, from the name, and from $338, it went to $1,300. The write over of the 300 over the 3 came into 13. Not only that, a 1 was placed in front of the 3. That's what made it $1,300. With them being cashed at Chase, they should have caught that. All those discrepancies, because you usually have the initial when you make an error, avoid it out. So what I'm like to tell you all that are listening to me, check your accounts because fraudulent is happening. It wasn't cashed here on this side of the bay. It was cashed across the bay. So be very, very aware. Look at your ledgers, make sure that it matches the amount that you wrote out, and it's not a lot of scribbling and a lot of manipulations on your checks. So with that, it probably was something else that my president wanted me to say, but I had to share that with you all, okay, at this point. And thank you.
Thank you very
Okay?
much. Next.
Are there any people online who are?
One moment.
Sorry,
hiding around the corner.
but do raise your hand online if you're representing your neighborhood.
Hello, good evening. Hi, we're from Pullman Neighborhood Council. My name is Jonas, and she can introduce herself later. But I just wanted to let you know, we had our first meeting on Valentine's Day for the Pullman Neighborhood Council at the Seaport Baptist Church. It was in person, and we had a great turnout. Council member Robinson came and updated us on a few things, one of them including the International Hotel and the progress moving forward with that. We had Code Enforcement Kevin Tisdale come and answer some questions. Yeah, we had a nice turnout. Of course, Naomi Williams was there, and we're looking forward to a great year. Thank you so much.
And Marie Griffin, also from Pullman Neighborhood Council, just wanted to add that we also had our elections. So Ms. Naomi is still the president, but in this role, we're going to have two presidents, co-presidents. So my better half, Jonas, is the co-president. So yes, and also I'm the vice president, and we're super excited. We got some new neighbors that are also on the council, and we actually have 2 elected representatives that will be attending the Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Council meeting. So you might see some new faces. So we're up to a great start for 2026, and some big projects coming up is our beautification walk, and in a couple of months, June 20th. With the Juneteenth parade, Pullman will be having our block party. So we're super excited for this year. So thank you.
Before you leave, there was somebody on next door suggesting that you may need volunteers for your dumpster day.
Oh, yes, yeah, Dumpster Day is coming up April 11th. So yes, we are looking for volunteers, and it was announced in our neighborhood council meeting last month. So yes, we're open. I believe Doria mentioned that she will also be volunteering to help us as well, and we will be there too.
Well, there you go. Election year, it's paying off. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, I see
Thank you, Lori.
Crystal online, please.
Good evening. I'm Crystal Barton. I am the president of Laurel Park Neighborhood Council, and I'm reporting, we have our next meeting is April 22nd, and we're working on some planned events for the spring and summer. And I want to say that we've been on a recruitment for block captains. Historically, there were many in the past, but as of late, or at least the last 2 years I've been over the council, we've really haven't had any. But we did have our first volunteer. His name is Thatcher Nance. He is known to the neighborhood, grew up there, moved away, and came back to the family home, and so he is our first official block captain, and we hope to recruit many more. And with that, my report is done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands online, people who are either presidents or representing their neighborhood council. So with that, take it away.
Thank you. Moving on, we have our Public Information Officer, Rita Johnson, who's joining us online. Anything new, Rita?
Yes, I have a couple of announcements to make. On March the 28th, from 6 to 10, the SS Red Oak Victory is going to have a swing dance with live music by Nick Rossi and his Swing Four. And the fee for this is $25 for adults, early bird, and the children are $10. And there'll be dance lessons given at 6:30 by Susie Hart. And so if you want more information, you can go to ROV Spring Swing 26 eventbrite.com. My next announcement is National Rosie the Riveter Day, March 21st, 26, from 11 to 2 o'clock. And that's at 1414 Harbor Way South at the National Park Visitor Education Center. And they want you to come dressed in your Rosie gear or your best 1940s garb. And they'll have activities for the kids and family. There's music and entertainment. And at 12 o'clock, there'll be a Rosie call where they're going to honor the attending Rosies and share their stories. So if you want more information regarding this event, the number to call is 510-232-5050. I have my next item is save the date, April 25th, 2026, from 6 to 9. Harlan comes to Richmond in a casino night, and it's the 36th annual Freedom Fundraiser. And it'll be held at CoBiz Richmond, 1503 McDonald Avenue. And the tickets are $150. And before you say, whoa, that's so much, $100 of that is for casino cash. You get a taste of Harlem hors d'oeuvres. It includes the dessert bar, commemorative photos, dancing, and a contest for the best Harlem speakeasy attire. Your MC for the evening will be Stephen Parker, who hosts the Stephen Parker Show on KDYA. There'll be specialty cocktails from the Factory Bar, and your cuisine is from Chef Frank Miller, Taste of Harlem. Okay, a couple of more, you guys. We have some events at the Richmond Museum of History and Culture. So on 3/14/2026, and it's either 12 to 4 or 1 to 5. The announcement wasn't clear. But at The address is 400 Nevin Avenue in Richmond, and it's a pop-up event at the museum. And this event offers a unique opportunity to meet local artists, explore exhibits, and purchase artwork directly from the creators. And one thing about this, 100% of the sales go directly to the artists. So you'll be able to purchase posters, prints, cards, magnets, and more. Our second pop-up event at the museum is on March the 21st, 2026, from 1 to 4. And this is a textile upcycle workshop. You take what's old and you give it a new life. And the amount for this is $17.50 to $60. And I'm not quite sure what range or the differences of that because that wasn't very clear. But you can get your tickets from Eventbrite, and you need to be 21 or older because included in the amount of the tickets are mimosas, light snacks, and then guidance from the artist and your upcycling art supplies. All of that will be supplied for you. And if you need more information about these events, you can go to richmondmuseum.org for more information. And if anyone has announcements, you can send it to me at Garetha_Johnson@Comcast.net. That's all, folks.
Very good. Thank you. That was very informative. So
Thank you.
before we get to staff meetings or staff presentations, we've invited Tim Sobrani from the Contra Costa Building Trades Council. Tim, would you like to come up? This is all about jobs, 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 union jobs. This is being recorded, so I will post it on social media. But if you missed Tim's information, you can contact me, and I'll put you in touch with Tim. Thank you.
Great. Thank you for the invitation. So glad to be here. Again, Tim Sobrani. I'm the Executive Director of the Contra Costa Building Construction Trades Council. And as I learned a little bit more about the RNCC and as I've sat through the introductions tonight, our Building Trades Council is not that dramatically different from what we have here tonight. You know, as hearing the introductions of different neighborhood council leaders, that's essentially, when you think about the building trades, that's what we are. We are a council of 20 affiliated building and construction trade unions based in Contra Costa County. So sometimes when people hear about the building trades, they might think, oh yeah, the members, they work in the refinery, which our members do. Our members work at Chevron, so we represent their interests. But that's really a small part of what we are. And hearing your president say it, jobs, 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 that's what we're all about. And in fact, I would actually even say careers, 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 right. Because it's that's what we really focus on is careers, middle class careers where people have good wages, good health care, and retirement benefits. That's what we're focused on, these high road jobs. So I had some flyers that I handed out to your chair. I know he'll get them out to everybody, but one of the flyers is this one, which has information, and I'll make sure we get electronic copies so they can be sent out to those watching at home, and so everybody has the information. But I mentioned that we have 20 affiliated unions. They all have apprentice programs, apprenticeship opportunities, and we have the information with these flyers because it's a diversity of different crafts, different talents, different skills. So some of them, we might have, some of our basic crafts, like our laborers, our operating engineers, and we have mechanical crafts, where you hear like your pipe fitters, your plumbers, your sheet metal, electricians. We have so many different crafts, roofers, HVAC, installation. They're all right there. You could see them in the flyer. What we designed is where you have the contact information for anybody that might be interested. So as you're all as neighborhood leaders, and people that are looking for work, are looking for career opportunities, a lot of times, they need to just contact us and look to get into an apprentice program. Now, it's not like you can just walk off the street and get into a program. We very much have some what we call pre-apprentice programs, or sometimes what they're called like multi-core craft curriculum, to prepare anybody who might be interested in a career in the trades, maybe brushing up on math skills. You have to be clean to be in the trade, so sometimes it's making sure people get clean, making sure people, brush up on the different skills that they need to be ready, to pass a test in some instances, depending on, what craft they might be interested in. There will be some type of an entrance test or something that they'll need to do. So we help get people ready. And we work very actively here in the city of Richmond and in West Contra Costa County. So the other flyer that you see is just some data. We have a nonprofit arm called CTWI, which is the Construction Training Workforce Initiative. And they're specifically focused on just that, construction training workforce, getting people prepared to enter the workforce in the construction trades. So you could see it by the numbers. In recent years, 582 apprentices just in West Contra Costa, the vast majority of those here in the city of Richmond. 74 of those come from Richmond Build, which I think is a program you're pretty familiar with, that works here in the community. And then you can see with some of the forward training programs, Richmond Build, Youth Build, Kennedy High School, and then we also work with adult education for West Contra Costa. Really proud of the program at Kennedy High School's grown in particular, where we're trying to grow that as almost like a magnet as a construction trades pathway. It started just as one class, one instructor, and now we have multiple sections, waiting list of students to get in because they see the value, and the opportunity to work with their hands. We've seen the pendulum shift. Richmond prides itself. I mean, you don't need me to tell you the industrial history that's here. People that have worked with their hands. This is a city known for industry. But then somewhere we lost our way, and I'm not saying Richmond is just everywhere. Education, it was like, everyone's got to go to college. Which of course we want to promote college. We want to promote college, but we also need to promote careers. And what we're starting to see now, for a while, the schools were getting away from, the shop programs that we all grew up with and some of those training programs. Now they've started to recognize we've lost a generation of students. They're bringing them back. Kennedy High School's been a leader. They've really helped grow these programs. The adult ed at West Contra Costa, we work with the detention centers as well in the county to try, whether it's the juvenile detention centers or those that are in the justice system, to try to get them, upon release, to be ready to have the skills, to be able to potentially enter one of these different programs. So we're very focused on, again, your jobs, careers, building that up. And we know that becomes something that's a real asset for the community when people have these opportunities. So we're really robust about trying to promote different things. We're going to be in San Pablo on April 16th for a construction trades fair. And then we're going to be in Richmond on April 29th. And again, I'll work through ARTHO to make sure that information goes out so everybody can see what we're doing to promote these careers. But at the end of the day, we can have all these different programs, but you have to have opportunities for apprentices once they go through the program. In fact, in many respects, sometimes people will ask, how come you don't take more apprentices? Because when sometimes there's interest in waiting lists. But simply put, there has to be work for them on the back end. And we don't want to make a false promise that, we take all these people in and then we can't get them their required hours. So we work on project labor agreements, stabilization agreements, community agreements. They have different names, but essentially they're agreements where public agencies or private developers will work to dispatch workers that we train, skilled and trained workers, out of our halls to work on projects. So the city of Richmond has an agreement. West Contra Costa Unified has an agreement. West County Wastewater District, thanks to ARTHO, and you heard Director Meredith King as well. They help support an agreement so that way when they have projects of a certain threshold, usually $1 million, not small projects. Sometimes small projects you might not necessarily would work through the agreement, but projects usually of $1 million or more, you're going to dispatch, the workers out of the halls to do that work. The electricians, the HVAC technicians. So that way, it's kind of like a continuum. We're working out of the local community to get people into these programs, to get them qualified to be prepared to be accepted in the apprentice program. And then we, on the back end, working with our public agency partners as they build out infrastructure projects, as the school district spends bond dollars, as the city, invests in projects, as the wastewater district invests in projects, other agencies, transportation agencies, others, if they're doing projects of a certain threshold, we're working to dispatch people that come from Contra Costa County, and we're trying to make a greater percentage of those from Contra Costa County, particularly from Richmond and West County. So that's kind of all part of a holistic strategy. And then it's not just in the public sector, but it's also where there's private development as well. Sometimes whether it's building houses of a certain size, again, maybe small lot projects, not so much, but when you're building higher density projects where you're going to want to make sure you have the iron workers, that are doing that. If you're going to build, at a certain height, certain size, you don't want to use non-union labor or non-skilled labor. You want to make sure that those things are built properly, that those systems work effectively. So sometimes we'll work on the private development and then also some of the industrial projects. Again, Chevron's obviously the clearest example, but we are supporting other projects as well. Raven SR is an example of a hydrogen facility that's going to be built, here in Richmond, or the biomass, I should say, the biomass facility. So that's one where we'll put our workers, helping to build that project, and in some cases even operating it, and looking for other opportunities where there's the ability for industrial development where we can get our folks working on it, and a lot of times those jobs are well-paid jobs. Again with good pensions, good benefits. So we're working not just in the traditional refineries, but in clean energy, be it hydrogen, be it wind power. Be it batteries, that's another growing industry that we're seeing, and looking to help grow those industries and promote to say, look, we have that here in Richmond, we have the land, we have the ability to do it. You might be familiar with the Green Empowerment Zone. That's one of the things that Supervisor Federal Glover, the late Federal Glover for many years, talked about the northern waterfront and all the potential from Richmond all the way through Brentwood to grow kind of this industrial base. And you've got the workforce, you've got the access to transit, you've got the waterways, and let's take advantage of that history. Recently, Richmond, I don't know if you saw it, was featured on the CBS Morning News and our very own Boilermakers and building trades, women in the trades. And it was here in the presentation about the Red Oak Victory and the Rosies, and highlighting the modern day Rosies, because we're also doing a lot to promote women in the trades. And we did this event recently where we got national attention because the idea is like, look, the trades are, we see more women, we see more people of color. We're trying to increase the diversity of those involved. So partly promoting that, but partly saying, look, Richmond had a legacy during the war producing a ship a day, as we know that history. And, there's no reason that we can't, do shipbuilding or other types of manufacturing again. So we're very active in the building trades on the advocacy front to help support industry and opportunities that put our members to work, which in turn allow more hours to fill more apprenticeship positions and hopefully hear from the community in Richmond and West Contra Costa County. So that's a little bit of an overview. I think some other things that we're working on to that end, at least recently, we're working on a public lands policy that should actually be going before the Richmond City Council, possibly even as early as next week, or sometime in the next month. We've already presented once. But the idea about if the city of Richmond has public land that it owns, or some of its other entities, be it the Housing Authority, the port, for private development, part of that community benefit needs to be, hey, you're going to have a skilled and trained workforce. We're going to dispatch from the hiring halls, and because the hiring halls are the unions that are working with the community trying to get folks in, that's one of the community benefits. The other thing is you look at other private development. putting our pension funds to work. The AFL-CIO, we have what's called the HIT, which, helps to finance. So you think about projects when they get built. A lot of times, you have developers, they go to the bank, and obviously the bank, it's all just finance. The bank has a rate, that rate gets passed down, leads to, what the cost is in terms of housing or anything that's built. But we're trying to put our union pension dollars to work to come with rates that are lower than the banks and what you could get, on the open market. And in turn, part of that benefit is like, hey, if you're going to use, the money of union workers, pension money, it's an investment in a project. In turn, you're going to put union hands to work on those projects. So we're working on that in Richmond. There's a number of different sites where the AFL-CIO is at the national level, whether it's Hilltop or other locations that they've looked at, and they say, hey, look, if there's any development there, these are larger sites, we want to be involved with that, and we know that we can offer better rates than the banks and, work with developers, work with the city to become the financing arm. So we're working on that. And then I don't want to get overly political, but just that there is an election in June for the bond measure for Contra Costa Community College District, a $920 million bond measure. So for us, that's something that's like, hey, that's under a labor agreement. Those are things that we help work on because we know that if those large facilities get built, we know that that puts our members to work. So those are the types of things that we'll become active on. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that any of you have on anything I raised or any other topics of interest.
I'd like to start up here. Garland? No? Bless you.
Thank you for coming, and I love the fact that you're promoting careers. To have the opportunity to have a career right here where you live locally is it's a dream come true, and
right.
it's something we really need to promote. As far as the that it being over $1 million projects in that area, I like the fact that you're really motivated on that. I hope to see in the future, like you said, there's elections and everything coming up, that when questions are asked about larger projects and what have you, that those exist, and that there's a real plan for those. I'm not saying that there's not some and dream ideas, but I think we as a community, Richmond is ready to grow again. A lot of we, like you said, I'm just saying, both my grandparents in '43, they came here. They both worked in the shipyards.
Yeah.
So it can be done. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is more of a general question. So with the trades now, it appears that maybe they're coming back and becoming more popular in past years, from past years, based on what you were saying. But so now we have the competition with AI.
Yeah.
Do you feel that with AI, that the trades are that's helping the trades become more popular with the community? Because those are real jobs. And AI and robotics, it's a long way to go.
Yeah, that's such a great question. I mean, because AI is not going to fix your plumbing, right? I mean, AI can do a lot of things, but it can't do everything. And I think a lot of people realize that. 15 years ago, the golden ticket was get a degree in computer science. You get a computer science degree, you're set. Well, now we've seen how many of those jobs have been displaced. So, I mean, I think there is a sense of that these are long-term skills that are going to be here even as the economy goes in that direction. So I think that has part of that pendulum where people realize it, but I just think it's, whether it's that or other factors, there's a growing recognition. And even if you talk to companies, they'll talk about the need for skilled workers, and you've got some of this advanced manufacturing, some of this technology, even the technologies, whether it's advanced manufacturing of any kind, biomedical, any type of industry that does research and development, at some point you still need to make things. And I think there's a recognition that, yeah, you know what, we've stopped manufacturing in this country, we've stopped making things, and we need to do that. So we are seeing that. It's obviously easier said than done, but I think the first step is realizing that how important this is. And I think if we value that, and we value industry, we value kind of blue collar work, and we see that, Yeah, I think that's a first step, and I think we're starting to make that step now. We just got to continue to be intentional about some of the policies that we do, whether it's in the industrial space or making sure that, yeah, we have these labor agreements. So, because sometimes there's a disconnect. People talk about it. They say, yes, let's do the career fair. Yes, let's promote the trades. And it's like, okay, hey, great, all wonderful things. Then when it's time for a labor agreement, oh, well, I don't know if we want to do that. It's like, well, these things are all connected, you know, and I think, so that's part of what we try to do is work with the community and connect those dots.
Okay, I'll be last.
Okay.
Jen? Lori?
Excuse me. Thank you, Tim. That was a wonderful presentation. I look forward to seeing you flush out the aspect of bringing more women on, because that was one of my questions. And because I live in a dynamic, multiverse neighborhood, I was going to ask you if this information was in Spanish, but since they have the highest population, I feel confident that this is being printed in that in the language that they can decipher. So my only question left is, I see something about the youth build. Is there a certain age? I'm glad that you're not looking at just apprenticeship, and I'm assuming via college, but the youth, what age does that begin at when you're saying you're going to the high school?
I'll say, when we talk about youth, which we a lot of times it's not like a hard and fast, but usually 24 is kind of what that age group, like, you know, 15 to 24, because some of them are you know, as we find, we're doing more in the high school, but not everybody's ready to make a career choice in high school. In fact, most aren't. So what we try to do in high school is let's expose them. And sometimes they get exposed and they're ready right after graduation. They know exactly what they're doing. In all honesty, that doesn't happen in most cases, but they're exposed and you plant the seed. You know, they know that it's there. So then a lot of times maybe they go to the community college for a couple years, maybe they work for a couple years, and they realize, hey, I can get a better job with better benefits, you know, in the trades, and then they come to us. I also want to be clear that the trades aren't just limited to when you're 24 and then, oh, that's it. Like, we take people mid-career all the time, you know, maybe. And the other thing that we do, I didn't even mention this, I regretted to mention, our neglected veterans. We have a helmets to hard hat program where, I mean, a lot of times for when they come, if they've been in the service, they pick up these skills in the service. And they already are ready to be accepted into many of our programs. So that's actually something that we want to try to do more of, is to try to make sure that that is known. Because again, a lot of these things just aren't known, and we need to do a better job of making sure folks are aware of that and, you know, bringing them in.
Okay. And one last question. You mentioned getting people clean. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's from drugs, you know, because especially on the industrial side, it just becomes a safety issue. So, I mean, there is drug testing for if you're going to work, say, at Chevron, because of the nature of the work. I mean, it's just, you know, so they're going to test. So we want to make sure, because our affiliates are going to invest a lot into our apprentices. So they want to make sure that when they're investing, that person that they're investing in is also investing in their own, in themselves, you know, to make sure that they can stay clean on the job, because that's something that they could automatically be let go. We wouldn't want that. So that's one of the things that we'll work with them to make sure, so that way they can not just get that job, but maintain that job, keep that job.
Anyone online?
Is there anyone online who has questions? Please raise your hand if yes.
Okay, we've got some folks in the audience that have a question or comment. Can you step up to the mic, please?
Thank you very much. Tim opened the door. I'm going to walk right through. My name is Don Gosney. I'm the retired president of the Plumbers and Steamfitters Local 342. I'm a newbie. I've only been there 55 years now. Okay? I want to reinforce some of the things. He talked about careers. You want a job? Go to Mickey D's. They're hiring. They'll give you that pretty white hat, put you on the French fryer for 6 months. If you're doing really good, I mean really good, maybe they'll promote you over to the grill. Okay, you want a career though? Come to us. We start apprentices out, the plumbers and steam fitters, as of July 1, in the neighborhood of $70,000 a year. We're going to start out the apprentices with another $105,000 a year worth of benefits. They get a 12.5% pay increase for the 5 years of apprenticeship. As a journeyman, they're going to be making right now about $180,000 a year. Most people can almost live off of that. Okay, we're going to pay 100% for all the training. We're going to provide all the tools, all the materials. We even give them 2 extremely nice shirts to wear, $110 a piece. I had to buy it myself. Okay, we find the jobs for them. We negotiate the contracts, and we stand behind them and protect them, make sure that they are not abused. And by the way, we love to have women get into our trade. It's a great opportunity for them. People of color, we love it. We bend over backwards to accommodate that, to try to get them in. But I said, we have signups in my union for the apprenticeship program to take the test for the entire month of May. It's done online. My name is Don Gosney. You can reach out to me at my Don Gosney at Comcast.net. That's DONGOSNEY at Comcast.net, or call me 510-685-2403. I'll sit down there and mentor you, and I will work my tail off to make sure that you're going to pass the test. But it's a great opportunity for you. Okay? Not all of us were born to go to college and learn how to write code for Google. Okay? If you want to become an auto mechanic, if you want to be a laborer, if you want to be a hairstylist, you want to go in the Marines, shouldn't that be your choice instead of some college counselor? I've gotten into arguments with them on that. I did pretty good. I retired 28 years ago from that at age 44 with a very nice pension. Can't do that at Mickey D's.
Don, really quick, did you say they top out? Was that number one about around approximately 180,000?
But journeyman, all of our people make the same wage. Okay, there's no tiers or anything like that. But right now, a journeyman pipe fitter, welder, HVAC, plumber, a neighborhood of $180,000 a year before overtime.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Well, I did want to mention, as we did when you presented to West County Wastewater, that I've been in the trades for not quite as long as Don. He's a lot older. But I did retire, and it paid for a house, everything I wanted. I've got a great pension annuity program, and I worked a specialized trade. It's called the millwrights, and we worked with automation and robotics, and we installed them. So there's work out there, not to be scared about automation taking your job, because in these type of particular job, somebody needs to work on them and install them. Yeah, I was making 13, 14 grand a month on overtime in the 90s. So I know the wages have gone up, and I can't recommend it enough. And quite frankly, we also received continuing education, and I know for a fact that I could build a house from the ground up and do anything that you need to on a home. We did work commercial and residential and industrial, but I thank you for that. And anybody that's interested, Tim has brought a list with about, what, 20?
20, yeah, that's right, with the different contact.
With phone numbers and everything. I'll try and see if I can.
I'll forward it electronically, so that way you have it.
Okay.
I'll make sure you have that.
I see there's a question up front. Oh, okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah, oh, good.
And quite frankly, to be honest, if you can pass a drug test, you have steady transportation, and you really want to work, get up at 6 in the morning, you can qualify.
That's such great points. I mean, everything you said is just spot on. And it's interesting, I was at an event at Concord High School, Mount Diablo Unified we did a trades night, and, I spoke, a number of other adults spoke. The most compelling spokesperson of the night was a 22-year-old, had his F-150 parked out front. Yeah, that's the truck I just bought. He was a pipe fitter, 342 apprentice, right out of high school. So he was just, now he's in year 5. He's almost done. So there's my truck. Here's the key to that truck. Here's the other key to the condo I just bought in Concord. Who 22-year-old buys a condo? In the Bay Area, just the cost. But that's just a sign that, he had put in the time, he'd put in the hours. So, the opportunities are there. So,
Yeah, and also, while you have kids in college that are floundering around paying $100,000 to go to school, you could be making $100,000 in a trade. So
get paid to do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to add one last thing. I've been active in my community. I've had a job locally here. I've had a career. I love the company. 37 years. Where I'm going with this is that while I've been able to work towards retirement and everything, I just talked to a friend who's been in real estate because I wanted to know because I don't have health coverage when I leave. 37 years, and I was raised union. You can Google it.
Yeah. All
It's
right.
between 1,000 and 1,400 a month for me to get to take a coverage that's like a PPO, what I've had working. So when you stop working, you really have to think about the package. Those benefits, which I think Don mentioned earlier, are just absolutely imperable.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
And
it.
I look forward to getting the email.
Absolutely, yeah, and that way you can send it around to everybody. Thank you.
Thanks again. All right. So moving on, speaking of careers, we have another Tim, our police chief, Tim Simmons.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you, RNCC. Thank you, President Renteria. I appreciate it. Fantastic presentation, Tim and Don. I think I'm going to sign up. Where do I sign? I'm ready to work for a living finally. Right? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. And your son, the police department is hiring too, just so you know. RichmondPD.net. We have good jobs also. Anyways, no, seriously, fantastic presentation. Highly recommend it. So thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. I'm just going to share a few words about Flock, not just Flock as a company, but I really want to talk about just technology and the police department leveraging technology to help keep our community safe and why I think that's an important dynamic. And then I want to give kudos to one of our employees. So I'll just get kind of right into it. So I wanted to take a few moments to provide the community with an update regarding the current status of Flock's safety technology program here in the city of Richmond, and to reiterate what my commitment is as your police chief and the department's commitment to transparency, accountability, and the responsible use of technology in policing. And I want to just pause right there for a moment to just really thank all of the neighborhood council presidents that are here today and that are online and that are in existence. The fact that we have 33 neighborhood councils is fantastic, but we need to do everything we can to get the rest of the neighborhood councils that are not active. In my opinion, going on 17, 18 years in this community, the neighborhood councils and the activity that they brought to the neighborhood is part of the vibrancy of this community. It's part of really understanding what makes a community, and also it keeps special interest groups from running things in our city, and it allows community to have their voice being heard for what your neighborhoods need, and not people from the outside coming in and dictating that for you. So I remember the day and age of Richmond PD when the neighborhood councils were vibrant and active, all of them. And my commitment that I stated last time I was here is that one of my goals this year is to bring back that level of relationship from a PD perspective back into the neighborhood councils, because I believe it's through relationship is how we're going to have new ideas, how we're going to solve problems, because our safety is all of our problem. It's all of our responsibility. The outcomes rely on all of us, and that's really where partnership takes place. My heyday with RPD, my favorite times was engaging with my neighborhood council on the south side. I was so happy to hear about the Pullman Neighborhood Council coming back to life. That was one of the fantastic neighborhoods I attended back in 2007, 2008. And so like that is something to be celebrated, to hear about what you're doing. And I look forward to how the police department can engage with you and get a beat officer in there with you to connect and be part of the solutions, because I think that's where we're going to see a lot of synergistic opportunity and change. Sorry for that little soapbox there. Now back on technology. So as many of you know, the Richmond Police Department has been evaluating several technology tools designed to assist us in preventing crime, solving cases, and improving the overall safety in Richmond. And if you were watching last Tuesday's City Council meeting, that's what I'm referring to is the ALPR technology, which stands for Automated License Plate Readers. And then we have CCTV technology, or as closed circuit television. And then we have our DFR, which stands for the Drone as a First Responder. Those are the three technology buckets that we're leveraging to try to help keep Richmond safe and provide for an efficient and timely police response to incidences that are happening in our community. And it's part of an overall network. I think there's 14 cities in Contra Costa County that are part of this network. And within the greater Bay Area, it's a vast, I don't have the number of cities off the top of my head, but it is a vast majority of the San Francisco Bay Area, all the way down to San Jose, Silicon Valley, is also part of that network. What we know about crime is that it doesn't just stay in one location. People that commit crime in Richmond travel to other cities. People that live in other cities travel to Richmond to commit crime. So the way we address these issues is through partnership. So at this time, like I said, the ALPR camera in Richmond remains turned off. There's some misinformation that's been floating around out there whether or not I've decided to turn the cameras back on. I want to emphatically let you know the cameras are off. I turned the ALPR cameras off in early November due to what was a perceived, it was called a data breach, but it was not a data breach. It was a function that was on in the operating system of the Flock operating system that allowed for a national search feature to be to occur, which allowed our personnel to conduct a national search of a complete and total license plate number. What we did not know at the time was by having that feature on, it created a reciprocal opportunity for other agencies that had Flock. They could put in a complete and total license plate. So they had to know what the license plate was that they were looking for. And it would then run that search on other open networks. And in those cases, Richmond's information was part of that open search. There's no information at all, no evidence at all that any information in the city of Richmond was ever used or accessed. It was just made available. So it's the difference between accessible and accessed. So it was made accessible, but not accessed that we have any evidence of during that time period. So when I learned that, I made the decision to turn them off till I could find out what was going on. Because that was our commitment to the city council, that was our commitment to this community, is that we had a closed network. And when I've learned about that situation, the cameras were turned off immediately. And they remain off to this point in time. So out of respect for some of the community's concerns, my commitment to transparency, I am seeking direction from the City Council regarding the decision to reactivate the cameras and proceed with Flock as a service provider. Those cameras are not currently being used by the Richmond Police Department. We will continue to honor that pause while the City Council evaluates policy considerations and while we continue to engage with discussions with the City Council, with our community, which is what this conversation is here, and other community stakeholders about the appropriate roles of this technology and whether or not our community actually wants this technology in the community. So, however, it is important for the public to understand that our CCTV cameras and our drone as a first responder have never been turned off and they remain active. So CCTV is a closed circuit. It's not part of any data sharing. It's strictly a closed circuit that monitors public roadways and city assets, City Hall, the port, city infrastructure locations. And then the drone as a first responder is a drone that the police department uses that responds to critical incidences and starts providing information to officers even before officers even get there. So the drone is there first, it's sending information back, we're able to see and understand what's going on as we're deploying officers to that location. It's used for evacuations. If we need to evacuate, say there's a wildfire up in the hills, we can get the drone up there quickly and we can start understanding what's going on, and we know how to send folks in and which way we need to start evacuating people based upon what we're seeing, rather than waiting for personnel to get there and then trying to figure out what the plan is. And it's also used for search and rescue when we have a missing person or we need to find an individual in a search and rescue operation, that gives us eye in the sky. The other thing it does is, I remember longstanding complaints going back to my engagement with the neighborhood councils. One of the things that I remember our neighborhood council did not like was that the sheriff's helicopter was constantly hovering over our community. It's loud, it's obnoxious, you see it, and not only is it like a noise pollution issue, but the optics of it, where people are like the visual of constantly having a police helicopter over your city. With the DFR program, that's one of the things we are less reliant on. That helicopter has not been in our community for some time now, because when we have the opportunity to deploy the drone instead, nobody hears it, hardly anybody sees it, but we're getting the exact same technology out of it in terms of being able to film the crime scene or look for the evidence or have the night vision looking for the individual that might be fleeing from the police at the time, and we don't need to call for a police helicopter to be overhead. We deploy it right here in our own community, and it's a much more, I guess I'll use the word friendly, just from a standpoint of not waking people up at 1 o'clock in the morning. I have family that live here in this community, and that was one of their complaints forever was, why is it always 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning we hear, and you know, they don't hear that anymore as frequently. So I want the public to understand that those technologies are still at play. What is not at play in our community right now, what has been turned off and remains off, is the automated license plate reader technology. So I want to be very clear about something that is extremely important to me as your police chief. Any technology, and I really want the community to hear me, any technology used by the Richmond Police Department must be used in a transparent manner that improves community safety while also protecting the rights and civil liberties of our residents. I do not believe that those two ideas have to be divorced from each other. They are not exclusively different ideas. You can leverage technology and protect civil liberties with proper transparency, proper oversight, and proper policy. Those things can be married hand in hand. I see communities all over the Bay Area that do it successfully. And I see no reason why the city of Richmond cannot do it successfully. Those two principles must exist together. Public safety and civil rights, they're not opposing goals. They're responsibilities that must be balanced thoughtfully and carefully. My ultimate goal as chief is simple. I want every Richmond resident and visitor and employee that comes to this community to work to feel safe. I want our residents, business owners, workers, and visitors to be able to move freely throughout our community without fear or intimidation of violence or being victimized in any way, shape, or form. Safety should not be a privilege, and hear me on this. Safety should not be a privilege reserved for some cities in our county. Safety should not be reserved for certain neighborhoods in our city. Safety should be a fundamental right that we all get to participate in and enjoy equitably and equal across the board. It should be a basic expectation for everyone who lives and visits the city of Richmond. I grew up in the Bay Area. I grew up in the city of Vallejo, spent a significant amount of time coming to Richmond to play sports and shop at the mall and ice skate and all that. We have made strides in this community to reduce violent crime, like massive strides. And you know what one of my pet peeves are as a longstanding Richmond police officer in this community is when I go to different locations and I tell folks, hey, yeah, my family lives in Richmond, I'm a Richmond police officer, and they still have that, whoa, oh my God, how is it? And my answer is, it's fantastic. What are you, like, where have you been? Why haven't you come visit Richmond lately? Like, folks that want to stand on the reputation of our community from 20 years ago need to wake up and understand that Richmond is a different place today. And that's thanks to all of us that have come together to improve our quality of life in this community. And I want to continue to do that within our police department. To be candid, I sometimes wish that public safety were not such a controversial topic. because I firmly believe that safety is one of the most fundamental rights that any resident should expect from their government. But I also recognize the reality of the moment we live in. There are members of our community who have concerns about our government power and about technology and how it's being used. And to be quite honest with you, I have concerns about what's going on in our government and issues that are going on there. Some residents have experienced distrust, and those concerns deserve to be heard and taken seriously. I want the community to know that I am sensitive to those concerns. Transparency, open communication, and community dialogue are essential. My commitment is to continue providing clear information about what we are doing, why we are doing it, and how we are protecting the privacy and the rights of people we serve, while also leveraging technology in 2026 to help us do our jobs more efficiently. During my presentation to City Council on Tuesday, this last Tuesday, I also informed the Council and the public that the City has issued a request for proposal, or an RFP, to solicit information from other vendors that provide similar public safety technology services. I did that proactively on purpose because, and I want to be on the, I was on the record Tuesday and I want to be on the record now. Chief Simmons does not work for the Flock Safety Company. Chief Simmons works, that's right. Chief Simmons works for the people of Richmond. So my goal is to bring about technologies that I believe are going to help us keep this community safe. Right now, Flock Safety is the infrastructure that we've spent the last 3 years building in this community. So I'm trying to stand behind it because I believe in what's going on. But at the same time, I want folks to know there's an RFP out there where we're going to look at other vendors, because if there's another vendor out there that's better, I want us to be able to talk about it on Tuesday night in the council. So for me, it's not about necessarily the vendor. It's more about being able to leverage technology appropriately into our community. While discussions about technology continue, I want to emphasize that public safety is a shared responsibility. I kind of opened with that idea. The Richmond Police Department cannot do it alone. Safety is created when residents, businesses, community organizations, churches, faith community, and government agencies work together with shared purpose. When we support, communicate, and hold each other accountable, we will strengthen the entire community. So before I conclude tonight, I wanted to just pivot for a moment away from Flock and ALPR, and I want to give one of our employees some much deserved kudos. I want to highlight something positive that reflects the professionalism, dedication of one of the men and women of the Richmond Police Department. I'm proud to announce tonight that Detective Kwa Nguyen, N-G-U-Y-E-N, Kwa Nguyen, has been selected as the Richmond Police Department's Detective of the Year. Detective Nguyen will be honored this Wednesday evening at the Richmond's Elks Lodge, along with other West Contra Costa County police officers who have been voted those agencies' Officer of the Year. We do the Detective of the Year at this particular event. This is a tremendous honor. It's well-deserved. Detective Nguyen has demonstrated exceptional investigative skills, dedication to victims, and strong commitment to solving crimes and bringing justice to those affected by violence and crime in our community. Detective Nguyen is responsible for bringing to life a couple of cold cases that have been multiple years old, where he's brought them back, not just back to life, but he's brought resolution, was able to hold somebody accountable, hold folks accountable, and bring closure to victims. Nothing worse than being a victim and not having any closure, and year after year you're wondering, does anybody know? Does anybody still care? And I'm here tonight to tell you, Richmond PD cares, Detective Nguyen cares, and he's brought life back to a lot of these, and we've gotten some closure on them, which is why he's been nominated and voted our Detective of the Year. So I just wanted to close with acknowledging him tonight, thanking the RNCC for giving me an opportunity to kind of share my thoughts about technology and my desire to really bring us together with that I don't think it needs to be one or the other. I think we can protect civil liberties and leverage technology, and I'm excited about what the future has for RPD in this community and our partnership with the RNCC.
Thank you. Well, do you have time for a few questions?
I absolutely do. Yes,
Do we have any
most certainly.
questions, starting with Garland?
Hello, Chief. The drone program, is that only put up in the air when there's a major issue, or is it something that circulates all the time?
It does not circulate all the time. Let me start by saying it requires, for it to circulate all the time, it would require a full-time staff team to do that. You have to have full-time operators, and we don't currently have the staff to accommodate that. It's being staffed on an overtime basis. So it's a small group of people. They're FAA certified, special licensing to be able to fly sight unseen. So they fly it from the PD, and it has a certain circumference around the city. But it's deployed when there's calls for service that it could be a vehicle pursuit, for example. And we want eyes on that. It's recording and filming the police activity. So we have the whole pursuit on video, right? So it becomes part of the evidentiary packet. If there's a barricaded person in a house and there's going to be a tactical response, it gives us the aerial footage. Or if there's a foot chase and then someone's hiding, and rather than sending people into backyards, we're able to put the drone back there, which is a lot safer and also avoids use of force situations unnecessarily and things of that nature. So right now it's deployed on a case-by-case basis.
And the CCTV cameras, are they primarily for dumping issues, or are they also looking for speeding issues as well?
They're not equipped to do any speeding. They do not have speed radar capability. They are looking for in high dumping locations. They are there, and they're also at high collision intersections so that we can monitor traffic safety, and then city-owned infrastructure locations.
Thank you. Lori?
Chief Simmons, thank you. I do recall under Chief French that she had mentioned how the lack of flat cameras was an issue. I have two questions for you. I firmly believe that you guys are looking at public safety and civil rights. And to further that, there was a database that you used to use that would track all the information. And you guys switched that about a year ago, because when our beat cops weren't able to attend, I could pull it up and just put my neighborhood and get all the crime. And it gave me every bit of information except almost what hair color that person was. So when they stopped using that, I said, oh, because it was sharing too much information. So I know that our PD has done its due diligence. I never abused that, but there was a time when that database was giving a lot of information, and I simply wanted to know what was happening in my neighborhood. So since you guys had moved from there, I know for a fact that you're concerned about civil rights. I do think it imperative that the city council keep in mind that the needs of a few should not out-trump the needs of many. What troubled me and continues to trouble me is that young lady that's missing, and that we had an opportunity to do more than we did to help her. And we cannot, there is so much going on with the government, but we cannot be so blinded that we're focusing on the needs of a couple and we're really not focusing on the needs of the many. Crime is up. All right, we have the low crime rate under you and BISA. We had the low murder rate, but we also have a lot more unresolved, issues or cases. So we desperately need that. And I would like for the city council to open their mindset to the knowledge of this could happen to you. Sometimes people don't take a stance until it hits them directly. And it's my prayer that it doesn't hit them directly, that you don't have to go to bed knowing that your child is missing. And because you wouldn't turn on a piece of equipment that could help locate that child, you get to sleep at night. But what about the parents of that child that's still missing? And then we want to call ourselves a city of pride of purpose. I'm going to need for us to show more purpose with our pride when it comes to the residents. So thank you. On behalf of the neighborhood councils, on behalf of Parkchester Village, I call on you guys and you show up. And we are trying to help you help us. So city council, we're looking and we're listening. And we need you to put the public safety of everyone first. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Congratulations your appointment.
Thank
Want
you.
to tell you that.
I appreciate it.
Appreciate you. The neighborhood councils, thank you for your support and everything you said, and about the community policing, the way you put community involvement. Thank you so much, going all the way back to Magnus and people like that who really, really push community. It's so important that we all come together. Drone. I watched the drone in action in my neighborhood. Well orchestrated, professional, amazing. I was very blown away by it. And last but not least, I am going to piggyback on the plates. I appreciate what you said about being very open, that you work for Richmond, but also, like it was said by Lori, but also by the gentleman in the back, or that mentioned about that people from there are not even living in the city, are not even paying very, very large property taxes, that their voices get drowned out. That's not going to happen. You know why? Now that Lori said that, a lot of us feel that way. I know Ardo will. We're going to empower you as a whole community. Just asking you, have a plan so that we get heard and not drowned out by outsiders.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
I just wanted to let you know, we've been very lucky to have, we have a new officer, Officer Galvan, who comes to our meetings. And at our last meeting, there was a conversation about the human trafficking. Of course, 24th Street is, my neighborhood. And we were having a conversation about, people saying, well, they don't have officers out there enough doing things. And Officer Galvan told us about the DUI setup that you had going, where a young 14-year-old girl who was being trafficked came up to the officer and said, help, help. She needed help. With her help, they picked up two pimps that were hanging out at McDonald's. Now, that's not something that the police is going to tell everybody about, but I'm quite proud of that, the girl was smart enough to come, and next for the police to take, they knew what to do. They've been doing it for a very long time. We were doing this long before COVID. COVID destroyed our police and our ability to do these kind of things in our neighborhood. We've done block parties on 24th Street, year after year after year, just to try to, change how things are going. And the police are always there. They always support us. They've always tried to do whatever they can for this. And I believe the first thing I'd say to one of our city council people who, oh, no, we can't, we have to worry about, something. What if it was your child? What if it was your grandchild? What if it was your neighbor's child? Someone very close to you. That's the way you have to think. And I know our police do think that way. And I think city council needs to, grow up here and, make a decision one way or another. Thank you for all that you do.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. I know we're up against the clock, and I know that you have to get back out there, so I appreciate your presentation, and just know that we're behind you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And the way I see it is if we're able to solve one crime, the whole thing's worth it, right? Absolutely. I mean, one victim that gets closure, and there's a lot more than that, but I'm just saying the one is worth it for us, and that's how we see it. So thank you for your time, and I look forward to being back here at the next one.
Thank you.
By the way, that's not for you, Captain Lopez. I forgot to mention that Parchester's having a neighborhood council meeting tomorrow, so I'm hoping that you or our other B cop will be there. And yeah, thank you. Bye.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Captain Lopez, do you have some stats for us?
Good evening. My name is Captain John Lopez. I was here last month and just talking about our operations bureau, so our patrol operations bureau. I'm gonna go over staffing for a little bit, and then I'll answer some questions. I do have some stats, but I kind of want to talk about our staffing because it's pretty important on where we're going as a police department. So currently on our patrol, patrol covers everyone that pretty much wears a uniform. So everyone that's on the streets, including our traffic unit as well. We have one captain right now, which is me, and then we have 5 lieutenants. Lieutenant Decius is retiring. For most who know him, his last day is going to be this Thursday. He's going to be his last day with us. On the books, he'll go through April, but his last day on the books is this coming Thursday. So he will be missed. A lot of great work from Lieutenant Decius, and then so the chief has already appointed Lieutenant Patchen to replace him. So Lieutenant Patchen will be on swing shift Monday through Thursday, and he'll be responsible for the Southern District of Richmond. Currently, we have 10 sergeants on patrol. Those sergeants, let me talk about the watch commanders first. We have 5 watch commanders, 5 lieutenants on patrol. And so everyone's aware, the watch commanders are responsible for the entire city. They are the highest ranking officers when the captains or the chief aren't present, but they have day-to-day operations, decisions that go through the city. So their job and their role is very important. Underneath them, we have 10 sergeants, patrol sergeants. They are the supervisors for each specific team. We have 5 teams, so 10 sergeants, 2 sergeants for each team, and they are the first line supervisors for our patrol staff. So we have our patrol officers, then we have our patrol sergeants, and then you'll have your watch commander. Currently, we are right now, it's looking really good. We are at our highest point in patrol. We're still short, but we're on the highest point that we've been at. Currently, we stand at 51 officers assigned to patrol that are 10-8, which means in service, actually working. They're not on leave, they're not on military leave or any other kind of leave or modified duty. They are on the streets, and that's the highest we've been to in a while. It's very promising, and the way it's looking, it's an uphill trajectory. So currently on day shift from Monday through Thursday, there is 10 officers on that team. On swing shift Monday through Thursday, there is 11 officers on the team. On graveyard Monday through Thursday, there is 9 officers on the team. And then on the weekends, we only have 2 teams. They work 12 and a half hours. And so the day shift team, they currently have 11 officers on that team. And then on our graveyard shift, they have 10 officers on that team. We also have, sorry, I had it here. Where'd it go? Here we go. We also have 9 officers that are in training. So they are also assigned to patrol, but they have a training officer with them. Half of those officers are lateral officers from other departments, and so they'll have a quick training program to go through. We want to make sure that they're proficient in all the areas that we need them to be, and that they understand our rules, our policies, and procedures, and they understand the geography of the streets, and then they will be cut loose. So we're hoping by May to have another possibly 10 officers on the streets to add it to this. So it's been the chief's goal for us to get to a 55 mark, which the 55 is 11 officers for each team. We're probably going to exceed that by May. So looking pretty good there. We currently have 14 field training officers. Field training officers, their responsibility is to train the new recruits that come in from day 1 to their last day, and then they have a 2-week shadow after that once they're done with all their training. The field training officers will sit in a car with them, a lot of times in plain clothes, ride in the passenger seat, and do an evaluation and see if they're ready and capable and to go out on the streets by themselves. Currently on probation, once they get cut loose off of FTO, they go to solo patrol and they're on the streets and they're by themselves, but they have a probation period of 1 year where we get to evaluate them by themselves for that 1 year. Currently, right now, we have 12 that are on probation. And those individuals on probation, normal beat cops going out there and just really learning as they're going, but they already passed all their training, and so now that it's their time to shine and do really good work and attend neighborhood council meetings and develop beat projects. So at the end of their 1 year, they come back and we have a probation review board. That probation review board will sit. There's 12 that are on that board, and they'll review a whole year's worth of work. Who are your stakeholders in your community? What beats have you worked? What neighborhood councils have you attended? What beat projects have you completed? Those are a lot of the questions that are asked. And it's really is designed to ensure that our new officers are engaged with the community, that they know who the stakeholders are. They've been at neighborhood council meetings, and they have an understanding of what our ask is, what our goals and what our mission is. So we're doing really well. Just want to pass along that good news. We also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We also have 6 that are in orientation right now. The 6 that are in orientation, that's about a 4-week process. They have to go to the shooting range for about a week to qualify with their firearms, and then we go through a whole 3 weeks of just in-house training. It goes over geography, goes over policy, goes over procedure, goes over laws, and this is before they go on the streets with a trainer. So we have those officers that will be hitting the streets here pretty soon as well. So we're looking pretty good as far as staffing. It's going up. We're allotted for 147 officers total, sworn officers total. And right now, I just had it. Right now, if memory serves me correct, we are 22 vacancies short still. But our recruitment team is hiring. They're working really hard to try to fill those vacancies. So that's my report for tonight. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Questions, starting from my left?
Do you have an idea of how soon you'll have officers out just for speeding, traffic patrol, other than the beat police?
No, it's a great question. So that's one of the goals too. So when we can build our patrol staff, so that was kind of the idea behind it, the premise behind this, and this is with Chief French and Chief Simmons, is, patrol is the backbone of any police department, and we can't function. We want to put all of our officers up to succeed, right? And what's success? What is succeeding for us is protecting our community. So we need to have the numbers in patrol. So that's the backbone for us. So with that, we're trying to get to that 55 mark to ensure that we have enough officers for each team. And that we can patrol safely, and then the extra officers will go into special assignments like traffic, and like our detective bureau. But traffic is, right now we have 2 full-time traffic officers. I remember back when I started 24 years ago, we had about 7 and a sergeant full-time. So right now we have 2. Lieutenant Decius is leaving, so he was our full-time, in charge of traffic. But right now we have Sergeant Melgoza, who's our sergeant supervisor for traffic. He's a full-time, and then Officer Santiago, who's also full-time. We also have 3 officers that have dual assignment. So they're assigned to patrol and they're assigned as traffic officers. They get some specialized training, and they do a lot of our collision reports as well. So that is the goal, is to get past that 55 mark, and hopefully to get some more officers into these specialized units.
Are there some that are already in the training that have, for example, big truck regulations and testing, and also motorcycles, so that when the patrol does start up, they're already trained and they can pop right into that location if that's what's wanted?
Short answer, yes. So we do make sure we have a list. We put out these invitations for officers who are interested in these positions, and we do that on an annual basis so that we have a list, and that when time comes and we have enough individuals, enough officers to fill our patrol, and we have the excess, then we can start filling those positions.
And who was the lieutenant that was going to replace Lieutenant Decius?
It's going to be Lieutenant Patchen.
Okay.
Yeah. I wanted to ask a question. If somebody wanted to get involved with the Richmond Police Department, are there other jobs, dispatchers, code enforcement that you can?
Yes, definitely go to our, I'm sorry, our city page. We are hiring professional staff. We're trying to grab them anywhere we can. Our dispatchers, our record specialists, jailers, our clerical staff, you name it, we're trying to get our hands on them. I believe there's like 1 vacancy right now, or maybe 2 vacancies for our record specialists, and 1 for our property vault as well. But yes, we're constantly hiring. I do, would love for community members, those who are interested, to reach out or go to our website, find out more information, because the job postings are there.
Thank you. Any questions online? No? Any audience?
Yeah, please.
You can use the one.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, you're fine.
I have a simple question. All of you address the city council. I'm just hoping that you actually show up at the next city council and speak on behalf of your neighborhood districts. Oscar was there last week and he spoke wonderful and powerful. I'm just asking all of you, come to the city council meeting, speak on behalf of your neighborhoods, please, 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 please. That's all. That young woman you speak about that happened in my neighborhood, I've seen her. It's really close to my heart.
Thank you. Thank you. Cordell?
Yes. So Captain Lopez, you know my pet peeve, so I'm gonna say it for the record.
7-Eleven.
Correct. So in the last week of January, I have called the police twice to report people that are loitering in front of that business. And I have said it before because it is a concern. And I brought it up at some neighborhood council meetings, so I'm hoping that there will be some extra patrol around that area because it is an issue. Second is another concern is that like in the last couple of weeks within that same time period, there has been a number of cars parked, in front of the library, after a certain time. So I hardly see parking enforcement, which was not mentioned. I think parking enforcement has done a wonderful job, but it would be better if there'd be some extra, if they start patrolling around that area, because especially in the morning. That's it.
All right, showtime.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. And I'm hoping that we can email you for the crime stats for the various areas.
Yes, sure. Yes. And also, if you have any questions too, my email is jlopez@richmondpd.net. jlopez@richmondpd.net. Feel free to email me. Go straight to my cell phone. I answer pretty quick. But yeah, definitely, for sure.
All right. Well, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Stay safe.
Thank you.
So moving on, next we have fire. Is anyone here from the fire department?
Rico Rincon, Deputy Fire Chief, Richmond Fire Department. Thanks for having me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So with respect for time, I see you guys have quite a few more presenters. I'll go over some brief stats for the previous month. Our structure fires from February down to 2 from 5 in January. Our encampment fires, surprisingly, are down to 37 from almost 60 in the previous month. We saw a decrease in our emergency medical response, down from 714 in January to 643 in February, for a total of 1,095 incidents. Some of our upcoming highlights in the fire department, we are preparing for an evacuation drill in May, and we are also starting this Thursday our Spring Cert Academy. I think we have 34, 35 participants, and then also continuing to promote our smoke detector program, which citizens can find information for on our website. And with that, I will be open to any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions starting from my left? Right? Nope. Any in the audience? Any online? Well, that was quick. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Stay safe. And mayor's office. Anyone from the mayor's office here tonight?
Hi, I'm here. Can you all hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Tony. I'm with the mayor's office. I want to take a few minutes to give a quick update on the boards and commissions and how residents can get involved. So we do have currently vacancies across several boards and commissions, which presents opportunities for residents to apply. If you would like to learn more, feel free to visit the City of Richmond Mayor's Office website, where we have a quick link to the boards and commissions. Or you can email us. You can email us at mayorsoffice@ci.richmond.ca.us. Some standout boards and commissions that I'd like to highlight today is that the Black Resiliency Community Advisory Board has just become online. So we are asking folks, you may have seen it on the city manager's report, to apply to that. And we currently have some openings in the Planning Commission, and we're working closely with Avery and Lena and a few others to get those filled. And that's the short version of my report for tonight.
All right, any questions? Anyone want to volunteer to join a committee or commission? No? Well, thank you very much, Mr. Tamayo. Appreciate it. All right, moving on to economic development.
Good evening, councils. Before I go into economic development, oh, by the way, my name is Justin DeLeon, Senior Business Assistance Officer for Economic Development. Before I go into mine, I would like to turn it over quickly to Gabino.
Hello, good evening, buenas noches. My name is Gabino Redondo, currently in Public Works, but also work with Economic Development. Today I'm doing an announcement on behalf of an interdepartmental city team that is working on increasing our capacity in case there are any uptick in immigration enforcement activities. As you've seen in the last 2 months, the City Council has directed the city attorney and the city manager to work on strengthening our sanctuary city ordinances. So there was an item that was supposed to be heard last Tuesday, but there was many comments, so it didn't get heard. But we're still having a community meeting to get feedback on some of the initial draft actions that are being added to the ordinance and also our implementation plan. So I have a flyer here. We have a meeting this Wednesday here at the City Council chambers, and on Thursday we have one on Zoom.
I'm sorry, what time were the meetings?
The first meeting is on Wednesday, March 11th at 5:30 p.m. here at the City Council chambers. And then the next one is Thursday, the next day at 1 p.m. on Zoom.
Thank you.
Thank you again, councils. Again, Justin DeLeon, representing Economic Development, along with my colleague, June Garcia. We're here on behalf of our director, Nat Beecham. For business development, we have a number of updates and announcements and celebrations. The first one is the announcement or an update regarding the facade improvement program. This was a TCC partially funded program focused on the Iron Triangle, Santa Fe, and Coronado neighborhoods. We are asking the neighborhood councils to encourage their local businesses, their restaurants and their artisans, their local businesses to seek out the facade program to see if they'd like to improve their businesses. We have received applications so far, but again, there's $300,000 available for businesses to improve their facades. Next update is the Taste of Richmond. Thank you to the previous council who announced the Taste of Richmond. I have a flyer here. We are having the Taste of Richmond, which is in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development Commission, this Saturday, March 28th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Richmond Auditorium. Restaurants and artisans still have time to sign up to showcase their wares and their food. And they can visit www.tasteofrichmondexperience.com. We anticipate about 300 attendees. Tickets are still available, so please purchase them ahead of time. We have posters available if you want to take one or two and bring it to one of your local restaurants to advertise and suggest that they sign up to become one of the vendors. This is a chance to show your neighborhood pride and showcase your favorite restaurants and artisans. Another program update is The Lot is still open and still thriving, and they're looking for new potential vendors. So if you have someone you know who has a restaurant idea that they'd like to test out at The Lot, they are taking applications for the next quarter. So please visit the city's website, Economic Development's website, for more information. I'm going to piggyback off of the mayor's office. The McDonald Avenue Corridor Task Force still has a couple of spaces available. If you are into downtown revitalization, if you want to get your input in as far as revitalizing that space, we do have a couple of spots available. One milestone that the task force did reach was releasing the RFP, the request for proposal, the economic downtown revitalization strategy. So we've earmarked a couple of $100,000 for a consultant to come in to provide feedback as to what is the most economically viable types of businesses and just give us a good understanding of what we have in downtown. So that is a big milestone for them. Along with the Economic Development Commission still has seats available. We are meeting this Wednesday. You're invited to attend and just listen to what they plan and what they are setting as far as their goals for 2026. The last two updates I have, we have another program, on-demand business support. It's still open for businesses who want information, who want help with their businesses. If you, as my colleague June likes to say, if you are a Chinese restaurant, you know how to cook food, but you don't know marketing, you don't know payroll, you don't know attorney services, lawyering, for example, you can go to the website and get free on-demand business support to aid in your business. And last but not least, excited to announce the East Bay Economic Development Alliance Innovation Awards. The City of Richmond proudly has 2 awardees this year. They'll be celebrated towards the end of this month. We are celebrating Verity, who will receive the Catalyst Award for its innovation in battery technology, and NIAD Art Center is being recognized for their impactful work supporting artists. And with that, I am open for any questions for economic development.
Any questions?
Okay.
Any online? Well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So next we have planning, Avery Stark. There he is.
Good evening. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Avery Stark, Planning Manager here with the City of Richmond. I'll be brief with my updates. As of to date, we currently have 125 applications that are currently under review by planning staff. And this spreads from, small detached structures like sheds up to ADUs, new single family homes. We have other large applications for larger entitlement projects, things, where we're talking about Eastern Village, Phase 2. We've got some upcoming larger projects that'll be going in front of our Planning Commission for consideration in the upcoming months. Other big updates, this Thursday, April 2nd, we will be having at our Planning Commission our Phase 1 housing element update. And so this is our housing element that is responsible for not just the development of housing in the City of Richmond, but a lot of the programs and services and wraparound support provided to residents and individuals who are experiencing homelessness in the City of Richmond. And it's a very wide variety of programs. We have our first phase update, which is a mainly comprehensive code update to ensure state compliance in a number of different areas. That will go on April 2nd and then subsequently to City Council for first reading and a second reading for adoption. In addition to that, we have another update to our ADU, accessory dwelling unit code. The state continues to amend and tweak government code once to twice a year, which requires us to continually update our municipal code to ensure that we're in compliance with state law. Also upcoming in May, we will have updates to the public safety and noise element of our general plan and the EJ, environmental justice element of our general plan. These have been sitting in the wings for about 3 years, waiting for some critical updates based on just staff capacity needs at the time. And so these will be going forward to Planning Commission. Will serve both as a public hearing, but also as a community, kind of engagement opportunity for people to understand and learn more about the general plan and the specific components of the city's general plan that we have. As far as staffing, we have recently hired a new senior planner who's not here tonight, but I will introduce him at the next follow-up meeting. This is Charles Chill. He's coming to us by way of San Francisco. Planning department was for the past 7 years, City of Berkeley prior to that. So we were very excited to have Charles join us as a senior planner. He will oversee the Richmond, the Historic Preservation Commission, and also serve as a liaison for some of our more complex residential housing projects in the city. We've just concluded the opening for the principal planner. And so we will begin interviews for principal planner in the upcoming weeks. We start with the oral board, and then we will move to the hiring position. And then from there, we still have 2 open positions that we're continually looking to fill in collaboration with the city manager's office. And lastly, as Tony had pointed out, we are currently still seeking members for our planning commission, which is again a vital quasi-judicial board that the city has that's responsible for land use decisions around ordinances and applications for entitlement. And we also have our design review board, which is a 7-member board, currently has 4 members. So we're also looking to seek additional members to join that board. If people have questions about what it's like to participate and volunteer your time on some of the decision-making committees for land use and buildings in the city of Richmond, please feel free to reach out to me. My contact information is on the planning website's main page. And with that, I am done. Any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Yes, we've got a few questions.
Okay. Yeah, hi, Avery. So, couple things. On your list of projects that you send out weekly, I noticed that you don't have all the listed projects under Marina Bay. So I was looking for Marina Point and had to keep scrolling and found out that it was way at the top. So that was just a comment. But more importantly, what's the status with Marina Point and Transmontane? And thirdly, this is more another question to you personally. When the neighborhood council, I'll just speak for Marina Bay, submits a letter of concern and addresses questions from the community and solicits a request for a response from the planning department, what happens to that?
So I can start with the first question. So Marina Point was heard by Planning Commission just last week. That was approved by our Planning Commission, three in approval and 1 denial or a no. That application is approved to form based on the staff report and the information that was provided. I have been informed that it will likely be appealed. There have been a number of individuals who have reached out about the appeal process. So it will likely be heard subsequently at City Council for a final decision if it is appealed within the 10-day appeal period. In terms of Transmontane, that project's responses to the environmental assessment that was done will be published, I believe, in the next week or 2, which will set us up to be able to go forward to the design review board and then subsequently the planning commission for public hearings on that project. Again, we had the 30-day comment period for the ISMND, which is the technical document around the expansion of the rail lines there on site at Transmontane. And the responses to those questions that were posed will be then provided as a part of the public comment review period, again, for the actual agenda report for the design review board and for the planning commission. So I would keep an eye out on the agendas that get posted on the city's website. Again, Planning Commission meets once a month. The Design Review Board meets once a month. Historic Preservation meets once a month. And so at the top of the end of most months is when the agendas get posted about 12 days in advance, when you'd be able to see upcoming items. And you can always subscribe to the Planning Department's website page for the Notify Me, particular to any boards or commissions you may be interested in, participating and learning more about. And then the third question regarding when we receive a request for information, or in this case, a response to a series of questions. So for this, it goes to the project planner who is assigned to that project. It's then taken in, read, understood. There are times where we then are able to provide official, response and correspondence that we then post as a part of like a memo for the project. Generally, they do just get incorporated as comments to the project and then addressed in the staff report. There are, at times, it's important to be able to ensure that the questions that we're receiving from various parties can be expressed back out to the entire public in totality so that everyone can understand the information that's being asked and so that we can answer it in that setting. So I know there was a letter received. I will certainly check in with Dana, who's the project planner who's overseeing Transmontane, to understand if there's any updates, if we were in terms of a response, or if I can have her reach out to you directly regarding when that project will proceed with its public hearings, where there would be further information in response to those questions that have been provided to the city.
Yeah, I'm sorry, just one more thing. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about the response back from the planning because I know for a fact that Marina Bay Neighborhood Council has responded numerous times on various projects. And when I get the restaffing report, it says no response. And I've complained about that. And so that's a big concern of mine because these are projects that are very important to the community. And you know personally, as well as Dana, that we've had years of communication, even before you were hired, the prior project manager. So it's very concerning that these, the letters and the communication is not made part of the staff report.
I can certainly answer that. So up until the public comment period has been opened and the application has been publicly noticed for a hearing, all comments received prior to that are not incorporated in the record as they're not being received within the window of public comment. So when we open an item and establish a public hearing and its date, any items, emails, letters, voicemails, things of that nature, or phone calls we get that we type up, those are what get included in the public comments packet that goes in front of either the design review board or the planning commission. Communications that's received prior to that is not a part of that same official public hearing record, which is why it doesn't show up there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not okay, but okay.
Avery, can I get an update on staff with regards to the planners? I heard you say that there were 2 positions still available. You hired one. How many planners do you guys have currently?
Currently, we have 5 professional planners, including myself, and we are in the process of hiring for the principal planner. And then we have the 2 open and funded positions, which are an additional assistant planner and a planning technician, which primarily serve the front counter, phone calls, emails, and conduct and assist with a lot of the over-the-counter permit review that the city has.
So it would be safe to say for fully staffed, you'd have a total of 8?
Correct.
Okay. Secondly, I would like to know what's going on with that huge warehouse at the end of Parchester that is designated as a marijuana facility. I've seen, I swear I've been praying it away. I've seen some activities though. I've seen some trucks and things, but I'm not asking the proper people what is going on. Has somebody rented that facility? Is something going on in there? And if so, is Parchester going to be notified? Because prior to you coming here, we were not notified, and it was not truth that we were told beforehand that it was told to me that the planner said, quote unquote, that the owner had talked to Parchester, which they never did. And at that time, you continuously guys had turnovers with the planners and the planners. So I thank you that by now you have a process to verify what an owner actually says, what an owner actually does. But I need to know, and the neighborhood would like to know, what is going on with that warehouse?
Are you speaking directly about Power Plant Park off Richmond Way and Goodrick Avenue?
It's on Giant.
Or
It's on Giant and John,
Oh,
right at the
apologies.
Upper Collins. Yeah. It's been there for some time.
Next to the storage.
Yeah, next to the storage facility.
Oh, okay. There we go. Thank you. Let's see. So if there's work being done on the site, for example, like construction, it's likely due to a building permit that's been issued. If a building permit hasn't been issued, I can coordinate with the building official tomorrow, and we can have one of our inspectors go out and take a look to understand if work's being done, potentially without the benefit of a permit, where we can place a stop work order on the facility. Any applications for cannabis manufacturing, distribution, and cultivation. Currently, we don't have any under review for new facilities. We have some that are coming in for amendments because they need to make some tweaks to align with state rules and regulations, but no new facilities at this point.
Okay, so they're still just beautifying. I just wanted to know, I've seen trucks and everything, but when I ask
Okay.
what's going on, is there anybody in there? Because I personally think if they can't get anybody in there, which I hope they can, that would be a wonderful place for a grocery store, and that'd be an actual second grocery store in Richmond. So although that's not my building, I'd like to offer that up. Thank you.
I'll certainly look into it. Thank you.
Any questions online? No? I've got several questions, but because of time, I'll hold them. But one of them had to do with Hilltop Mall and CSI mini storage. But my concern also is that when we get these new commissioners and committee members, a lot of them aren't even aware of what neighborhood councils are. And it seems like we've been disrespected for quite some time, especially in Hilltop where they allowed the gas station there to sell alcohol, even though 3 neighborhood councils came out and spoke against it and wrote several emails against it. So we need to rectify that, and I don't know how we do that. But I'm just saying it needs to be rectified, and because if they're not respecting neighborhood councils in their opinion, then what good are they? That's my statement for the day. So thank you, Avery.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for your presentation. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
all.
All right. So, see, moving on, I lost my agenda. Who do we? Oh, Stephanie, there she is. Oh, there it is. Oh, she's not least. She's never least.
We saved the best for last.
That's right.
Good evening, everybody. This is Stephanie and I. I'm with City of Richmond Community Services Department of Recreation and Public Works, here to just provide a lot of announcements on what recreation is up to. So last month on Friday, February 20th, we held our rescheduled snow day event at Nickel Park. It was rescheduled twice due to weather, but we finally had it. And families enjoyed sledding down our snow slope and having snowball fights in the park. So this is an annual event now, so look out for December 2026 for our next one. We have 4 events that I'd like to announce today. On Saturday, March 28th, Recreation will host our annual spring egg hunt at Nickel Park from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. There are different times for different age groups, and this is a free event. The event is subject to cancellation due to inclement weather. For those of you that received an activity guide, the information is in there as well, but also feel free to contact the registration office for more information. On that same day, Saturday, March 28th, we're also hosting our annual floating egg hunt at the Richmond Swim Center, 4300 Cutting Boulevard. This event has a $10 registration fee, which includes 1 adult and 1 child. And this requires pre-registration, so we don't accept walk-ins at this particular event since it's at the pools. The first egg hunt I announced does accept walk-ins. Contact registration office at 510-620-6793 for more information. On Saturday, April 4th, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. at Nickel Park, we're hosting our 3rd annual Holy Celebration. Families are invited to come together for a morning filled with color play and Zumba classes. This is also a free community event. Lastly, on Saturday, April 25th, 2026 at Nickel Park, save the date for our annual Park Prescription Day. Join us for free community fitness classes, health and community resources, and kids and family activities. This year, we're excited to announce we'll have rock climbing walls and human hamster balls, and we're working to bring even more to this annual event. In terms of programs, we're now accepting registrations for our spring break camp at the Recreation Complex for kindergarten through 8th grade. Camp will take place at the Recreation Complex Monday, April 6th through Friday, April 10th, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and costs $70. Before and extended care options are also available. Lastly, the Douglas T. Corbin Scholarship Fund, in partnership with the City of Richmond, is pleased to announce a fund to help Richmond families pay for swimming lessons for children and to assist those who are training to be lifeguards for the City of Richmond. Richmond families with children ages 3 to 12 years old, meeting family income guidelines, can receive 50% off swim lessons at the City of Richmond pools. Additionally, 15 to 17-year-old Richmond youth meeting the family income guidelines can receive a $300 stipend for lifeguard training, with a commitment to work for the City of Richmond. For more information on this fund, please contact the registration office at 510-620-6793. As always, contact our registration office if you have any questions. If you have any questions for me, I forgot if I introduced myself as the liaison to the Richmond Neighborhood Coordinating Council, the neighborhood councils. My name is Stephanie Nye, and I can be reached at 510-620-6563. And that will be it for me today.
Any questions?
I have a quick one.
Yep.
Stephanie, what time is the ribbon cutting for the library rehab?
I'm sorry?
For the library rehab, what time is the ribbon cutting?
Oh, I don't know that information, but I could get it. 12 to 1.
What's the date?
It's the 25th of March.
12 to 1.
Well, once a flyer comes out or anything, I'll be sure to send it over. Thank you. Thank you.
Do we have any questions online? No? We have somebody, could you state your name and your neighborhood?
My name is Jerry LaLondeberg. Here you go. I'm on the east side. I want to tie together four things, and thank you for your presentation. I'm currently the vice chair of the Richmond Commission on Aging. I'm also an active member in the CERT training program, and there's $36 million pending from the Bay Area Air District. So I need the neighborhood council's help for the next month or two to identify which neighborhood council wants to work on a proposal that is being developed specifically to ask for some funding for resiliency for elders. Basically, what I want to do is work with the CERT program to help each neighborhood identify the frail elders in their neighborhood and then coordinate that. And obviously, to me, the neighborhood councils are the entities that could also take a lead role in that. So if anyone is interested specifically in that concept or that process, I've given my card here, and I'd like to follow up and write a proposal. It's due May 29th, so basically it has to be written in the next month so we can do something. Thank you.
Thank you. Just as food for thought, there are no senior centers in Hilltop.
Okay, well, we can get to that too.
Or in District 4, period.
Yes, I think we can definitely work on that, and with another set of grant money.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to get your information. We do have CERT.
Absolutely. So he has my
Okay.
phone number is there, as well as my email address.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Stephanie, as always. Next, we had Carlos Castro from Public Works, but he's unavailable tonight. And we send him our condolences. We have old business. I don't know that we have any or new business. But I did want to say that next month, I believe April 13th, we have the Finance Department. They will be, yeah, we'll get to him. There will be the Finance Department, and they will be providing all the snacks out front. And I want to thank Shields Reed, Marina Brown in particular, and Annie King Meredith.
Yes, and I have some for new business, for future agendas. So I think I brought it up last time. Let me reiterate for the record. So what I'm proposing is to invite Caltrans or BNSF Railroad to come present to us at a later time to talk to us about some of the concerns that is, like, dealing with the medians, like, like the encampments as we have heard earlier this evening. And I'm like, it would be great if we had one group present the following month, the other group can follow after, because it's been a concern, like, especially in my area in Park Plaza, we've had issues affecting us. And it's like, this has got to end. So what I'm proposing is to invite Caltrans for a specific month, then after that in BNSF Railroad to come and talk to us about what their plans are to address medians. And the final possible presentation is to invite a representative from Fierce Advocates to come and talk to us about what their programs are about. So it's for everyone, because I happen to know the executive director personally. She lives just right across the street. Her name is Cheryl Lane, and she would be, and I've been talking with her, and I said, I will talk with the board to see if we want to invite her to come in the summer or fall. So those are what I'm proposing to bring to the board.
Yeah, as I said at our mayor's conference, I'll bring it to the e-board and we'll see what we can do. I like the idea of Caltrans and the railroads coming, so.
Yeah, that's a tall ask.
Yeah.
Railroads don't like something,
Yeah.
nothing.
So is there anything else before we close the meeting? Anyone? Last chance? All right, well, thank you. I want to close the meeting. It's March 9th, 9:19. Go figure. Thank you, everybody.